Let's take a look at the top of the draw. Starting with the quarterfinal action, Andres Gomez ousted Kevin Curran in the first match. And then it was Mecir ousting Mats Wilander in consecutive sets. In the lower half of the draw, John McEnroe eliminated Yannick Noah in the most entertaining match of the week. And the top seed here, Stefan Edberg, eliminated Tim Mayotte. Looking at the quarterfinal action, the semifinal action that produced the finals here, Mecir over Gomez, and then it was John McEnroe in a well-played match. Some outstanding serving in the match against Stefan Edberg. Following that match, McEnroe spoke with our Tony Trabert about playing again today. For it, but the money isn't bad either. $200,000 in first prize money goes to the winner, and the runner-up walks away with $100,000, and the quarterfinalist $22,500. Not bad at all. So Mecir and McEnroe will be battling for the title here today. John McEnroe with a victory over Stefan Edberg, an impressive style, serving well, comes into this final. He is 28 years of age from Cove Neck, New York, and has won here 4 times before. In the last couple of days has indicated how important he regards this title, and was critical of some of the other players he felt don't take it as seriously as he does. Miloslav Mecir, may we finally put the pronunciation of his name at rest. Yesterday, if you watched, you heard us referring to him as Mecir, and that is as close as we could come to the correct Czechoslovak pronunciation of it. His father is a Czech, his mother is from Slovakia, and the 22-year-old says that Mecir is fine with him. He says the Americans see it ends in an R, so that's how it sounds, and he's going with that. Miloslav Mecir. He's won 3 of 6 career titles this year and is having an outstanding season, ranked number 5 in the world. The chair umpire is Jerry Armstrong from Eastbourne, England. They have played each other twice in tournament play, and just recently in March, McEnroe defeated Mecir 6-1 and 7-5. In chatting with Mecir yesterday, he's not awed by McEnroe. He respects and admires him. It's funny, he looks older than his 22 years of age, and but when you hear him talking about McEnroe, it's as though McEnroe's been around forever and was almost one of his original idols, but nonetheless confident that he can acquit himself well today. Does pretty well against left-handers so far this year. He's 5-1.
You have good ground strokes, you can handle left-handers all right.
Because that record against left-handers, Tony, depends on who the left-handers were.
That would have something to do with it, wouldn't it?
You think it's tougher playing left-handers?
I liked them because they served in my backhand, happened to be my strength.
Did you ever tell anyone that
No.
was your strength? Had to find it out for themselves, huh? I like what Edberg said to you the other night. I mean, McEnroe said to you about Edberg. He said after the match in the interview, he said, Edberg's been telling everyone his forehand's better. He said, so I thought I'd go to it a lot, and he could prove to me that it was better.
Show me.
He went to it a lot too, didn't he?
He sure did.
Mecir will probably stay on the baseline behind his serve for most of the match. He only comes in just every now and again, 1 out of 10 times maybe, serves and volleys.
So Mecir holds service to open this best 3 of 5 set final match in Dallas for the WCT trophy and $200,000. McEnroe in the last 4 finals he's been in has yet to come away with a victory. This one he wants. Well, you can see that things have changed for both these players in the last 4 years of life on the tour. Mecir starting out in 1984 as a youngster and climbing up through the rankings to number 5 at the age of 22. And of course, with John McEnroe's layoff of 7 months, his computer ranking now just number 7, but he's determined to move it back up. Fine pass from Mecir, and McEnroe evidently thought the serve was long.
No, he thought it was a let, Tim.
Oh, a let. Yes, you can see him discussing that with the net judge.
Why don't you just admit when you make mistakes sometimes? I would if I made them. Don't answer me back like that, okay?
That's pretty good. John wants to do all the talking. He said, don't answer me back.
I like that one.
Yeah, I'll do the talking. I'll call you anything I want to call you. You don't get to say anything back. Comparing these two players, they both cover court extremely well. McEnroe says he thinks he serves better, no argument there, but he thinks Mecir's ground strokes are better than his. Have to give the volleying edge to McEnroe, and of course the edge in experience, a 4-time WCT champion.
Tony, that point on the disputed let there, the only person who thought they heard it was McEnroe. Now, Mecir hit a winner on the returner serve. How much was that McEnroe saying, hey, you didn't really hit a winner, the serve was a let, psychological, like, you can't hit my first serve back for a winner?
I don't know how much psychology that was, but he better get used to it, because I think Mecir can hit some returns for winners off his first serve.
Like that. That was off the second serve, but
take a look at the return of serve. A good second serve by Mac. Good and deep. Bingo. So I think that can convince McEnroe fairly early at break point here for Mecir not to come in on that second serve.
Can we have some more flashes, please? There wasn't enough in my face during my serve.
No flash photography, please.
A somewhat sarcastic request from McEnroe to eliminate the flash photography from the spectators.
Meanwhile, where does he go with his second serve? Backhand or forehand?
Deuce.
That's interesting. He went to the forehand side, and it's always tough when you're playing against a two-handed player who's got equal ability off the forehand and backhand side. Where do you actually serve to them on the big points here? It's tough to find it out.
I still say you go in tight to the body. If being a lefty, you swing it into the right hip of the right-hander.
Which is what McEnroe did then.
Another break point.
Advantage Mecir.
These early games on McEnroe's service are key because, as we discussed before the match, McEnroe's service and how Mecir handles that service on the return are keys to the outcome of this match.
So an early break for Miloslav Mecir, who takes a 2-love lead in the first set.
That ball looked like it flew a little bit to me, and I understand that McEnroe likes one certain frame that he has. He had it restrung. We talked about him getting it strung at 53 pounds. This one was strung at 48. That gives you a little trampoline effect, a little slingshot effect. It looked like that volley just sort of flew on him over that baseline.
Why did he get it lowered, do you know?
I have no idea.
Baseline rally won by McEnroe.
In these baseline rallies that we see during the match, what McEnroe will be trying to do as the match develops is to put Mecir into a position so that he will play a short ball, thereby enabling McEnroe to attack that short ball and move to the net. But he doesn't seem in a hurry, Tony, in these early games to get to the net. He's just content to sit back here on the baseline and rally.
Probably trying to get settled in a little bit.
15.
Okay, here's Mecir's serve. It's not a big serve, but I think what he's tried to do is just develop it into an adequate serve where he can get it deep with a certain amount of pace and not let his opponent attack him on it.
Boy, questionable call. Looked like McEnroe's ball was wide to me.
15, 13.
Yeah, and I think McEnroe even thought it was wide.
I know Mecir did.
I think that linesman might have been blocked by Mecir, who was right on the line going for the ball. 15-30.
Now 2 break points for McEnroe. As a player, Newt, this when you want to try to get your service break back right after you've been broken. The other guy either lets down, might play it a little too carefully. So here's a chance for John to get back on serve.
Good serve from Mecir.
And John thinks that serve was wide.
I think he thought it was long. Or maybe he realizes that he thought it was going long and then it wasn't.
Now he's talking in the
The
direction.
outside line, he won't overrule. You can see from there, I hit that ball, I was 3 to 6 inches outside the line. And what about that serve? What? Just play? He's telling me to play?
McEnroe talking to one. There's a code violation over 30 seconds. He's arguing with the supervisor who is in the wings over there. The rule book clearly states that the umpire should never make an overrule on a ball that is a close call.
Deuce says McEnroe nailed that one about a foot out.
That was an interesting byplay, that last point, because the other night with Edberg, McEnroe went at the particular umpire, Jerry Armstrong, constantly, and this time instead of arguing with him, he just went straight to the supervisor and talked to him like he was ignoring the umpire. That battle will continue, I'm sure. Shot from McEnroe.
Both players using the entire court.
Advantage McEnroe.
Watch this one. Takes Mecir's way out of court. Now he knows he's in trouble. He has to try to go for winner because he probably couldn't recover. And McEnroe has a break point.
Gee, that was a good shot from McEnroe. He took the pace off the ball, used extra top spin to get the angle.
You can roll those ground strokes and make it hit inside the service box. You can take a guy out of court.
Tony, I love the way Mecir jumps on a short ball. As soon as he sees that ball landing short, he'll get it very early, hit a strong approach shot, and move to the net.
There's the key, the strong approach shot. He can do that off either side. He doesn't have to chip it. He can drive it.
shot from McEnroe for another break point.
This was a super shot from McEnroe. Just look at his racket work now. He moves in like he's going to play an approach shot, and then...
Time warning. That was really good. That day off must have done you a lot of good, hasn't it?
Look at that disguise.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, buddy, will you?
Meanwhile, McEnroe back on court has started his dialogue going with the umpire. Keep up the good work. You got a lot of guts. Make all those overrules, he says.
No, he's talking about the time warning, the violation he got. That's what he was complaining about.
That happened 3 points ago. I guess he was stewing on it.
Juice.
What happens on the next warning? He loses a point, doesn't he?
He does. Third deuce in this game, and then the unforced errors thus far. Almost 2-1.
Advantage Mecir.
The point penalties go warning. You lose a point, you lose a game, you lose the match. I've seen John go to 3 of those, and I said, why didn't you go to the 4th one? He said, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid.
Advantage Mecir. Mecir holds on and takes a 3-love lead in the first set. We'll return to Reunion Arena in Dallas in a moment.
3 games to love.
McEnroe will be serving at love 3 as we continue, and early dialogue between McEnroe and the chair umpire Jerry Armstrong, and some remarks directed at the supervisor Keith Johnson in complaint about Armstrong.
More than dialogue, Tim. That was a real
monologue,
outburst.
actually.
Brutal, but John is really testing and tempting Gary Armstrong, the umpire, and that court change. He really worked him over. He said, I'm going to say anything I want to you. I'm not saying you can penalize me for it. I'm going to talk to you a lot. You can't do anything about it.
I like the last bit. He said, come on, big boy. He said, we're on a match here. He said, I'm going to test you the whole match.
So McEnroe, meanwhile, will have to get himself back into this first set. Down a break. Well, here's a little of the monologue directed at Jerry Armstrong just moments ago between games.
Usually it takes about a set or 2, but this time you managed to do it in a game and a half.
I want to hear it.
That's brilliant. You know that? You're going to hear a lot of it, let me tell you. You're going to hear more and more of it. There's nothing you're going to do about it.
Well, that was a taste of McEnroe's early mood here, being down 3-love, clearly unhappy with his play and the work of Jerry Armstrong.
He's also down love 30
in this game.
Three break points for Mecir to give him 2 breaks and a 4-love lead in this first set. And Mecir made a terrific return of serve off a very fine McEnroe serve. He didn't hit it real solidly, but got it down low. Was able to stay in the point. It's wide.
Just wide from McEnroe. Great attempt by McEnroe, actually. Didn't have much room to maneuver here at all.
Watch this ball hit the top of that, just sit there for a moment. Sits, hits twice. John gets to it, angles it, the only thing he could try to do, and missed it wide. So Mecir, here's a look at McEnroe. Only possible try he had was to angle it because it was so close to the net. Now McEnroe in big trouble in set number 1. Mecir serving with 2 breaks at 4-love.
15.
Quite a surprise when you think about these players who played twice, and Mecir has not even won a set. And here he's looking at a 5-love lead if he can hold serve. Big turnaround.
Ace. First of the match.
Reminds me a little bit of my final here in '74 when I played this young kid that nobody ever heard of called Bjorn Borg. I was down 4-love in 5 minutes.
14.
consecutive aces by Mecir. He hasn't had any in the tournament thus far through the first 2 matches. Nails 2 in a row against McEnroe. And McEnroe didn't even try for that one. He just conceded the 3rd one in a row. And it is 5-love. Miloslav Mecir, first set.
Mecir leads 5 games to love.
McEnroe best 3 of 5 set championship match. And meanwhile, between games this time, a more subdued John McEnroe, as we look back on videotape just moments ago. Not a peep out of McEnroe, who had 3 aces sailed by him in the last game for Mecir's 5-love lead. And I think here, if one can guess what he's trying to do, is to compose himself, get himself back into a more concentrated mood here. Now, gentlemen, do you just let this one go and start over in the next set, or do you try to battle back?
I think you try to hold serve here and then make Mecir hold serve to win the first set if he can. Then John would start serving in set number 2. You see 32 wins, the best on the Grand Prix Tour this year by Mecir. McEnroe, normally when he has any kind of an argument with an official, line spreads, whatever, usually comes back and plays better. Today, thus far, after every little outburst, he has lost the next point or 2, so it has not helped. So I think he's trying to settle down. So I got to get into this match.
Had a good serve and then missed the volley.
Love 15.
Had the drop shot.
Well, Tony, he's got to get back to the basics. Wouldn't you think of how he's going to win this match is serving and volleying, getting to the net, trying to cut the court off from Mecir.
Got to think about tennis. Just missed it. Believe it or not, that's only the 4th point that McEnroe's won thus far on his own serve. And we talked about the key, Nuke, being how well McEnroe serves. So he's not effective with his serve, and as a result, he's down love 5.
This is best of 5 set match, though.
Oh, it's a long ways from over.
Long way to go. Tony, you said the other night when McEnroe was playing Edberg, you said you still had a question mark. McEnroe hasn't played a lot of 5-set matches for a long time. How will he come up after such a tough match against Edberg? Will he be able to bring himself up again? And that's really the key, isn't it? If you're match fit, there's no problem. If you're not match fit, you can have a problem. What causes that problem? Is it physical or mental or a combination?
I think for John it's physical if he's having a problem. I mean, physically it is 2 set points now for Mecir.
See that the last time he lost a love set was in the Australian?
85, yeah.
You know who he was playing?
I give up.
Yugoslav. Long name.
Zivojinovic?
Yes, you got it. 5th set.
And so Mecir wins the first set 6-love. And a concerned-looking John McEnroe has now got to somehow summon up the reserves necessary to get back in against this impassive-looking Slovakian, Miloslav Mecir. Mecir said yesterday that that set just took 26 minutes for Mecir to win. He said yesterday that he likes McEnroe, that he considers him a friend, and so I don't think any of the battle that comes out here will be directed McEnroe to Mecir. But McEnroe somehow has got to get the spark going again. Got it. Boy, was close.
Tony, that's the first real aggressive point that we've seen McEnroe play.
Here's another look at it. See, John on the attack really hit that forehand hard. This one was very close. Aggressive. This is a new match for McEnroe. You say that's history now. I'm in a 4-set match, so I've got to win 3 of the 4 sets.
Would you agree that this opening game of the second set, McEnroe will try to throw everything he has to get a break?
I'm sure he will. He's got to get into it as soon as he can. He sure don't want to fall behind in this set. And from Mecir's standpoint, when you beat a player of McEnroe's stature, 6-love in the first set, you know he's going to get better. That closes the gap, and sometimes you have a problem playing your best tennis. One of the great things about Mecir is he uses the entire tennis court.
30-15.
Here's the touch and the drop. And now, before McEnroe can recover, as quick as John is, bingo, cross court with a lot of authority. 30-15.
Wide. Great touch shot from McEnroe again. Very similar to the one we saw earlier on the run.
And terrific court coverage by both players. Here's a drop shot. Now Mecir, a pretty big fella, gets to that ball pretty comfortably and just misses it down the line.
Not only did he get to it, Tony, did you see how good a balance he had after he hit the ball? It was completely on balance. Oh, that's a great shot. Right in the line.
McEnroe thought otherwise.
I thought that might have been out myself.
Goddamn conspiracy!
It's conspiracy.
On that approach shot, Mecir acted like he was going to make another drop shot here, and then he just goes deep. See, John has started the other way. He thought that ball was wide. Certainly not happy about it. Now he's making Mecir wait.
He may get a time warning.
He might.
Which would be a point, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Meanwhile, 40-30 for Mecir with a chance to open the second set.
I wonder what the conspiracy is.
Feels like all the calls are going against him.
Miloslav Mecir holding serve with a perfect passing shot, and he leads 1-love second set, having won the first 6-love. We'll return to Dallas after this word from your local stations. First set, leading 1-love in the second. And through that first set, we can see that Mecir serving his first serve at 78%, McEnroe at 65, and 13 unforced errors from McEnroe.
More winners by Mecir and fewer unforced errors, so McEnroe still to get on the board and win his first game of this final.
Well, as we went away to commercial, John McEnroe did a little contemplating, meditating over there.
He's really frustrated. He's boiling inside.
You know, Tony, one thing you need to do to establish in a match is to get a rhythm going of how you change ends, what you do at the change of ends, and every time John's changed ends so far, it's been different. One time he was abusing the umpire, the next he was sort of sitting there staring, and this time the towel over his head. There's no rhythm to his game yet.
That hit the top of the net, bounced over McEnroe's racket.
15.
Now, it looks like McEnroe just misses this, but it actually ticks the top of the net right here. It's a let cord and jumps right over his racket head. %. Boy, we keep talking about McEnroe has to serve well to play well in this match.
He's only won 5 points on his serve thus far.
through 7 games and 2 points.
Let's give Mecir some credit. He has been terrific. He's returned serve well. He's served well, made good passing shots. He's been very, very solid, playing very confidently.
Watching him practice yesterday, he was very loose and relaxed, and I said, you know, hey, $200,000, that's the most money you've played for. And he said, well, you know, I don't really think about that so much. I just want to win the match. And asked him if it was important to beat McEnroe. He said, of course, I'd like to beat McEnroe because it's McEnroe, but I just play hard each time to win every match. And had a terrific attitude, and it's so far in evidence here today that he was well prepared mentally and physically. But it is a best 3 of 5 set final. Perfectly timed lob from Mecir.
The guy has tremendous touch. You know, he really has control of the tennis ball. He went up there. He had a choice of trying to roll it cross court. He could have dropped it down the line low. Instead, he chooses to go over the top. He holds the racket nicely. John's not sure where it's going to go. And look at this well-placed offensive lob.
And
2 break points.
Oh, that was there too.
John is not volleying really decisively.
30-14.
And for a guy like Mecir who moves that well and has good ground strokes, if you give him too many swings at you, he's going to get it by you.
He's not getting a lot of volleys to hit in nice positions, though. A lot of them are below net height, going pretty fast.
That first one on that serve was high forehand shoulder height. He didn't just do enough with it at all, I don't think. Still a break point for Mecir. Good save by McEnroe.
Juice.
There's McEnroe's serve, getting Mecir out wide, and a beautiful volley that time, nice and deep. He's got his opponent way out of court now, completely in control of the point with the serve, the volley, and the smash. That's the type of game he needs to play.
We're at deuce.
Well, big chance for Mecir that time. Let it get away.
Yeah, that was not a good shot, was it, Tony?
Advantage.
After a brilliant return, he was set up to play the passing shot. Let's have a look at why he missed that. And then a very awkward volley.
Well, the ball came straight at him on that one, but he really let it get away by not making the passing shot. He was so close.
Looked like he pulled off the forehand as he tried to make the pass shot on it.
This could be a big confidence builder for McEnroe if he can get on the board here. He's done it.
The exaltation gets the crowd with him. Shook out 2 break points. Look at this. How often do you see John McEnroe ask for a little help in the crowd and receive it? He has not been a crowd favorite in too many situations.
Mecir's got to be careful here.
1 minute.
Here's the last point. This is the first game that McEnroe has won, and watch his reaction. Well, a little levity there, and now we're 1-all in the second set. Mecir to serve.
You know, he has successfully, I believe, relaxed himself here with this whole little episode.
But you look at Mecir's face. Mecir's well aware that this is danger time for himself. He has to play some very tight points here, or...
Well, that's not bad.
That was bad luck for McEnroe. He had a good forehand coming down that line.
15.
Might have been a winner, but if not, have been tough to volley. Here's Mecir. Now watch this approach. That one right there might have gotten past Mecir. Now he's got a sitter.
He really moves you around, doesn't he?
Oh, he sure
Left to
does.
right, uses angles, deep balls.
And the other thing, because he has good disguise, you can't get a head start. You've got to wait until he hits before you know which way to go. Mecir serves like a controlled pitcher. He's sneaky fast when he wants to be. The rest of the time he just tries to beat you with placement. Mecir really made a tactical error by not getting to the net after he got that lob over John's head.
Isn't this a super lob, though, from Mecir? Just took the ball almost on the half volley and came up with a perfect lob. And then coming into the attack position.
40 love. Fine shot.
I think we're going to see more and more of that now. I think McEnroe's decided no more of these baseline rallies. I'm just in on the net every opportunity.
I also think he's going to try to hit it when he comes in, not just block it, because Mecir's ground strokes are too good.
And the second serve, he's going to try to move in on the second serve and hit it and move to the net if he can.
McEnroe starting to settle down a little bit. You get the feeling he's thinking more about tennis right now. To stay in that point.
That lob was a good lesson, Tony. The defensive lob. If you're out of position, and let's look how far McEnroe is out of position here. He's going to have to run right across court. No chance to do anything, so throw the ball up high and hope that it goes very deep. That one landed right on the line.
So from 40-15, McEnroe fights this game to deuce. Sort of an interesting point, because McEnroe, both on the forehand and the backhand, tried to hit underspin on the ball to try to keep the ball lower, so Mecir doesn't have a high ball he can drive and come in.
That's the first time he's used underspin on the forehand drives from the back of the court.
There's that penetrating approach shot. Here's another look. Now this would hurt you right here. Hit deep and hard. Mecir doesn't have time to figure out where to hit it. Gets a little high. Here's an isolation on John coming in. There's a good crisp winning volley. It's deuce.
Looking at something? Huh?
You know, I asked John when he was playing Davis Cup when I was captain, I said, when you argued, does it ever occur to you that you might be wrong? He said, no. That ended that conversation.
Game Mecir.
The Mecir calmly holds serve and leads 2-1 second set. He won the first 6-love.
Mecir leads.
McEnroe serving, having lost the first set 6-love, rolled over by Mecir.
McEnroe serving with new balls.
15-love.
John, in describing Mecir, said I don't know a lot about him, but he said I like him because I like the way he plays. He's got to be an interesting guy because he plays all-court tennis. I like the way he looks. He doesn't look like a tennis player. He said I don't think I do either. I'm not sure what a tennis player is supposed to look like. Hey, John really saves himself some strife by winning that first service game when it was 15-40. Getting on the board was big for him at that stage. Nuke, there's one of the problems with a two-handed shot. You get that ball stretched out and low. The two-hander can't really handle it very well. Poor reach.
That's really what McEnroe has to do, isn't it? He's got to get in there, get those volleys going, not give Mecir any time to play his passing shots. No breathing room.
That's not easy to do. This court's not really that fast.
The thing is, when you get a volley like that, the pressure on you is you can't just get it back. You've got to get it back into a good position or this guy will pass you.
Puts extra pressure on you.
Yeah. Great pickup by McEnroe.
You watch the racket. Watch the early preparation on the racket now. Good half volley. Now watch John's racket. He gets it ready, holds it, holds, and then just bunts it right down the line. If Mecir moves that way, he could go the other way with it.
Look at McEnroe's footwork, though. He comes back to the baseline. See that big jump he did at the baseline? Like, just as Mecir was about to hit the ball, he jumped up in the air, and then he was ready when he landed to run anyway.
Superb tennis, the last 2 points. McEnroe and Mecir.
2 games.
Mecir, look how much court he covered in this point. He gets it. Now look how quickly he recovers. He has such strong legs. Tim, you've seen a lot of athletes in your time in broadcasting that. He's got excellent balance, hasn't he, when he runs to the ball and recovers?
He certainly does. And, you know, we're saying that McEnroe doesn't think he looks like a tennis player. He really looks like a linebacker. With those big, heavy legs and big calf muscles. But he certainly is well-structured and well-balanced, as you point out.
The best thing about his legs, we'll look at his picture there. Look at the size of his thigh muscles. The calf muscles are solid, but the thigh muscles are so strong. That helps him with that recovery.
Mecir thought McEnroe's shot was long, was over the baseline. I don't know where he's going.
He's gone around to sit. He's gone to sit in the stand.
He can get in trouble for leaving the court.
You know, he has a lovely, subtle sense of humor.
Yeah, he just put the ball down on the court at the baseline.
To show where you can see it. Well, you can't in this shot, but he put the ball down where he said the ball came down out. And that was his mild form of protest. A little look at the linesman indicating to him that he thought he made a mistake on it. It's 15 all.
Look at McEnroe down the other end of the court. He always likes to be the one who's dictating the pace of the play, if he possibly can. Nothing wrong with that. Good psychology.
Well, I think Mecir managed to win some of the crowd back in his favor. It's very much in his mind, the performance after McEnroe won his first game, getting the crowd to cheer him and exhorting them. So good job by Mecir in that sense to kind of win back some to his side. Crowds have been very fair here all week long.
We don't know what to play anymore. We have no idea what to chuck it for. You going on ball.
That ball was called a fault. John is saying, I think the serve was good. And he's saying, we just don't know what to play.
Well, what I don't understand is he's mad at the umpire, and it's the lines people who are making the calls.
Now here's McEnroe over by the flowers for this next service return, and Mecir trying to ignore that.
This is danger time for Mecir. He's got to concentrate here. McEnroe has a unique ability to be able to side play, have arguments or joke around, and get back to business immediately. It's tough for the other players to keep up with his rhythm.
Well, he had difficulty doing that in the first set, though. Mecir just ignored all of his antics, and John didn't get it back and dropped the set 6-love.
Mecir.
Mecir holds serve and leads 3-2 in the second set. He won the first.
Too good right now.
It's 3-2. Mecir leading McEnroe. McEnroe serving here in the second set.
I feel stronger now than I did at the end of that match. That young kid ran me around ragged.
Well, he did that to a lot of people.
You said that you trained for 9 months to win this championship in '74. That's how much this tournament meant to you.
I was only kidding about running ragged, too. I was ready to play 10 sets.
The Trabert triple. What a year. The French, Wimbledon, U.S. Nationals, 1955.
Uh-oh.
Hey, there you are, Trabe.
Oh, is that great?
Defending my country.
Yeah,
with a tennis racket, I see.
That was during the Korean War, and I was on an aircraft carrier fighting the Battle of the French Riviera.
Hey, your ears look bigger there than they are now.
I've got more hair on the side of my head now.
Oh, is that it?
Were you practicing your serve on the carrier, Tony?
I didn't get to play much. Let's get back to this match. McEnroe serving at 2-3, 15-love. Set number 2. Mecir surprisingly won the first set 6-love.
Not only the first set, but the first 3 service games that Mecir has had in this set. I think McEnroe has really tried to throw everything at him, Tony, and he's been strong. He's played good tennis. He's kept down to business. He's hanging in there well, but only getting to the middle part of the set. And McEnroe, his game is starting to lift up.
That's what I was alluding to earlier. You beat a guy 6-love. You say, hey, I know he's better than that. He's going to start coming at you. Your games come together. It makes it a close set and a close match. I think Mecir is starting to feel the pressure a little bit at this point.
First love service game for McEnroe. And we're at 3-all as we see the beautiful WCT trophy. It will go to the winner of this match along with $200,000. 3-all in the second set. Long way to go, as we have been reminding you. 3 of 5. The final for the WCT trophy. unhappy at that error on his forehand. Lamar Hunt, director of WCT, the founder of this tournament back in 1971.
He's done so much for professional tennis, and he worked so hard to make this event what it is. He's been wonderful for professional tennis.
I don't know how Lamar is with his football team, but I know that with the tennis players, all the time that I was playing there, he knew every player by their first name and something about them, their wives' names. He was great. Very personal.
He's involved in every facet of it. He delegates responsibility, but he really runs the thing.
I think he was tuning in there.
McEnroe stumbled trying to get back to the tee area and couldn't get to the ball. Now,
let's hope that
there was any real damage there. Slow to get up.
He's had a hip problem.
Looking at the carpet as though he may have tripped over one of the seams.
Just look where he did lose his footing. Getting near the seam.
Yes, he did.
He tripped on the seam.
Corner. There's a close-up look at the seam that he caught his foot on. Fortunately, he does not appear to have injured himself.
What a great offensive lob that was. Get him to 30 all. Mecir not doing as much.
Get away from me! Stay away!
I don't know what that was about, but I'm just going to say Mecir is not doing as much with a tennis ball.
Don't ever look at me.
Not hitting the balls near the line as he did that first set.
Whether he was talking to the seam or the umpire.
Well, he did say don't ever look at me, so I don't think it was the seam.
John's there easily. Mecir played an out ball. Mecir made a mistake because he thought that ball was going to be good down the line. We'll have another look at it. Not a strong volley here. Now this one was going to go wide. He thought, well, if I get it in, I'm all set. Here's a look at John. Good racket preparation. Yes, all right. Now Mecir stretched out there, recovers well, and this one I think was going to be wide. Nuke, you don't agree with me.
It was tight.
We're at deuce.
Advantage Mecir. Seeing tremendous court coverage by both players, and McEnroe's quickness, despite the little problem with his back, as he told us the day of the Edberg match, he feels a lot better than he did just a few weeks ago, but the twinges do come and go. Wide.
And all of a sudden, Tony, I think this is a very, very important game. We're halfway through the set, 3 games all. I don't want to say the 7th game because you'll get mad at me because you
no,
don't.
I won't.
I think this is key. And you said just a second ago you felt that Mecir was starting to play a little more cautious, not going for his shots quite as much, whereas McEnroe's lifted his game and he's attacking more.
That's what brings them closer together.
McEnroe has had 5 break points so far, but been unable to convert them. Won't get there.
Boy, that was marvelous volley because McEnroe really made a good attempt at the passing shot.
I really think that on this volley, Tony, he was a little bit fortunate. It was a very good passing shot from McEnroe. It was low and hard, and to pick it up that well, it's a great volley, but it's a little fortunate.
Yeah, he was for it for sure. He wasn't necessarily trying to hit that shorter volley. He was just happy to get his racket on and do what he could. Deuce.
This particular game is one of those key games that can decide a swing in the match.
This is the kind of spot sometimes where Mecir serves and volleys to try to surprise you.
Mecir thought that had the line. McEnroe did not at all, but Mecir now with a grimace starts toward the chair umpire, Jerry Armstrong, and thinks better of it. They're a deuce.
And that's what he's got to be careful of, Mecir. He's got to get on with the game of tennis. Forget about those calls.
I think it shows that he's getting a little tense.
Definitely.
Another break point.
That was tense. Good shot from McEnroe. A lot of depth, change of pace. But a very tense drive from Mecir. Not a lot of conviction behind it. A little self-doubt creeping into Mecir's game now.
He's playing like he's trying to protect a lead.
I'm playing not to lose.
That's right.
Rather
Carefully.
than playing to win.
Mecir has doubled his unforced errors from the first set, 10-5.
On that one with a lot of pace and breaks through to lead 4-3 in the second set.
Match 4-3 now. McEnroe serving in the second set. He lost the first in a rout 6-love. Got distracted early. Mecir kept his cool, rolled over McEnroe, but he has rebounded.
Famous Jean Barotre, one of the 4 musketeers from France, received the service award last night from Lamar Hunt. 88 years young, 2-time French Wimbledon champion. What a marvelous man. Still plays tennis, though he's had a hip injury from a fall. There are only 2 of the musketeers still living, René Lacoste and Jean Barotre. We just lost Henri Cochet a couple of weeks ago. Toto Brugnon has been gone for several years. Here's a bit of a mishit, Nuke, on this volley. John will certainly take it. He gets good depth on the approach. There's a mishit. See the racket wobble a little bit. Now we're isolated on John coming. Watch how quickly those feet move. Get into a good volleying position. Does a little straddle step. And it's 30-love.
As you might expect with his serve and volley game, McEnroe has been to the net more than his opponent Mecir, considerably more.
Heck of a point. John's got to be saying, what do I have to do to win a point?
30-15.
Well, what you got to do is run a lot. Look how much movement there is here. One side to the other, and you never know what's coming until he's actually hit the ball. That's what makes it so tough. You can't anticipate. You can't get a running start.
30-15. McEnroe leading with a break, 4-3 in the second set.
The only way to stop Mecir doing that is to keep your own drives going very deep, or to serve and volley and get on top of the net so that he can't run you around. But that's difficult to do. You can't come to the net unless you come on a very good approach shot or behind an excellent serve. I should change that a little. You can come in, but you're going to watch the ball go by you. You can get off the court real quickly if you want to come in on bad shots.
Boy, what looked like a bad break for McEnroe turns out okay. His shot ticks the net. It's a setup for Mecir, but he missed it.
Fault. Linesman outside.
John thinks it was good.
No. I think he's just thrilled that the umpire overruled.
In the background, the linesperson signals blocked view. He couldn't see it. See?
What prompted you to make that decision and not the other?
Now, John's been asking for overrules.
Linesman gave it outside to court.
That's the only reason.
And the ball was out anyway.
How about the other ones? What about the other calls?
Saw that one clearly.
Well, of course that was clear. That's the other. I need this job. What? Stick it right through your nose.
Well, he got the crowd involved again.
Someone up in the crowd hollered louder to John, so we want to hear what you're saying.
That wasn't your sound at home. He wasn't saying anything. He was
Just mouthed it. Yeah.
mouthing.
Took a little pace off there, and
Juice.
McEnroe didn't quite catch up with
Well,
it.
that was a very interesting shot.
Very smart.
When he came in, I thought, oh, he's going to drive and approach. Then I thought, oh, he's going to do a drop shot. And instead of that, he did a sort of semi-approach shot.
It was
very
too
low.
It was low for him to drive and hit it short with underspin, so it stayed down. And it's deuce.
Just didn't know what was coming out of that.
McEnroe.
Advantage McEnroe.
Well, Mecir looks like a thinking man's tennis player, and that's the way he approaches the game. I asked him yesterday if he actually writes any poetry, because most people look at him and say he looks like a poet. Well, I don't know whether all poets look like that, but he is certainly a thoughtful-looking person, and the answer is no. He doesn't write poetry.
First one.
You can see that things have turned around in terms of the unforced error category. Through the first set, he won 6-love. 5 and 13 for Mecir in the second. And again, a comment from McEnroe to somebody in the crowd. To lead 5-3 in the second set, having lost the first 6-love. That's 3 of 5 championship final.
Mecir was a little upset with himself. He had two-handed backhand shots in a row that he thought he should have made. The last one was a lot simpler than the previous one, but he missed them both. One caught the tape, the other goes wide. Things are changing.
It just seemed to me after the return of serve, Mecir was very flat-footed to play the next shot. What is it? What is that? A little bit of nervousness, Tony?
I think he's a little frustrated at the moment. Yeah. John's playing better.
Oh, great.
This was not a good approach shot from Mecir. Look how short the ball lands. Actually landed on the service line. You can't come in behind an approach shot like that. And in the first set, Mecir didn't come in on approach shots like that.
Solid down the line, right within an inch or two.
I think another thing too, Nuke, on that previous approach shot, Mecir was way too deep in the court. You got to wait for a shorter ball than that. 15-30. Momentum has changed. Two-set points for McEnroe.
15-14.
I think one of the things to explain it was like McEnroe was in second gear in the first set, and then he shifted up to third gear, and now he's up to fourth gear. Mecir has not shifted out of third gear. Maybe he's gone back a little bit. He hasn't kept pace with his opponent.
Game 17.
So John McEnroe is even things up here with a 6-3 win in the second set. And we are all even at one set apiece. We'll return after this word, and we now pick up the action with Mecir serving in game number 2. In arena in Dallas, we are into the third set, and Miloslav Mecir broke on the first game of the set to lead 1-love after they split sets. And McEnroe is over complaining to keep Johnson.
Is that possible anymore? Are these guys in charge? Who's in charge? You?
Verbal abuse, point, smack.
The chair umpire has levied a point penalty against McEnroe for a code violation.
The code violation was verbal abuse.
There's going to be another one right here.
To the linesman who's reporting it now over. It is linesman Jerry Lipp apparently reporting the obscenities.
This little dildo.
And out comes the supervisor, Keith Johnson, to discuss matters. McEnroe's picking up his rackets.
Sorry. What? Yes? I'm not going to play unless they take that away right now. I'm not playing the point. I'm not going to play. I'd rather not play anymore. I really would. It's not worth it for me. I don't have to play. Just stop. Well, I don't want to play anymore. This guy, he shouldn't be on. He's watching me over here. To what? He heard me say something over here to this guy. Well, then what was the first one? What was the first call? What happened? How did the first one get called? Say what? To what? Who did he see me say it to? I didn't even. I was warming over there.
Doesn't make any difference.
What? He saw me say something under my breath? Is that? What did I say it to? I wasn't even looking at him. No, I wasn't looking at him though. Oh, that's fine. That's fine with me. Now I want to know where he got the first call. I don't see anything. I was talking to himself. What's he watching me for? It's just his job to watch me? No, don't leave yet, okay? I want to get it clear where he got the first one, okay? I was talking to myself. Now, where was he saying? What the hell is he looking for? It's not his job. What the hell is he doing on the court? I'm over here and he's looking at me.
Let's play.
Well, Keith Johnson out there trying to keep McEnroe involved in the match and supporting the chair umpire, Jerry Armstrong.
50.
McEnroe threatening to leave the match, but it looks like he's going to continue. He's out there ready to receive. Now, meanwhile, Mecir has had a lot of rest down there, but obviously he would rather keep your rhythm and keep things going.
He's also lost the first point. This is his second penalty, so Mecir serving at 15 love.
So Mecir, who broke through on the first game of this third set to take the early lead, got a freebie point when one was taken away for a code violation from John McEnroe. And McEnroe has evened it up at 15 all, and Mecir cannot be happy with this long delay.
The next one, Tony, is a game penalty.
It is a game penalty, and if there's a fourth one, the match is over.
Is it a set penalty after that and then the match, or is it straight to the match? After the game penalty, that's it.
Mecir very upset now.
At the delays.
Now let's remember that Mecir has a service break here in the third set, but he's down 15-30.
He's lost the 2 points after that delay.
He looks very disgruntled and upset, which is understandable.
Break points for McEnroe.
15-40.
Tim, why do you think McEnroe was laughing at Mecir then?
I'm not sure whether he was perhaps just trying to say, hey, it's not you I'm mad at, but he's thoroughly got Mecir out of whack down there.
Whoa! What a shot!
Great get, great shot by Mecir.
This was a half volley
13-14.
from an unbelievably tough position on the stretch with two hands. Be tough to get to this one with one hand and be on bounce. Look at his bounce after he hit that shot. Just great.
Saved one break point.
You know, a lot of people say that how you move on the court, you move to the ball, and how you can keep your balance is one of the keys to playing good tennis, and this guy does it as well as anyone I've seen.
Well, Mecir battles back to advantage here.
Advantage Mecir.
If he can hold, he can move up 2-love here in the third set.
Deuce. Advantage Mecir.
22-year-old Miloslav Mecir from Privijevce, Czechoslovakia. Now divides his time between Bratislava, Prague, Munich.
Not a real deep approach shot.
Deuce.
Third deuce in this game. Another break point for McEnroe.
Advantage McEnroe.
Sensational return, had exactly what he wanted, took a big swing and hit it out. Fourth deuce. Here's now, look, watch this return. He goes in, he knows he's hurt Mecir. All he has to do is make this volley, and he took a big swing and hit it long. Oh, that can be crucial. Could have gotten him a break point. Matter of fact, that was the break point when he missed that volley.
Longest game of the match thus far. So Mecir hangs in there through a long game and moves up 2-love here in the third set. They are a set apiece.
One game. Mecir leads 2 games to love.
We are in Dallas, Texas, where the weather has been just wonderful during this past week. And the reminder that following our tennis action from Dallas, we'll take you to Augusta, Georgia for the final round coverage of the Masters. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS coming up next.
Well, you got to give Mecir credit for holding on that serve with all that went on that game, fighting from 15-40. He got back into it and settled down. He really did a good job.
It was sort of a key game, wasn't it? There could have been a big swing around then.
Love 30.
Here's the return of serve, which is just fair. It's not really low. What was superb was this passing shot. On the run, outside the sideline, right in the corner. Great shot.
Love 30 now. Love 40. 3 break points for Mecir.
Love 40.
So Mecir breaks at love and opens a 3-love lead in the third set. Score 4-1 in favor of Mecir. Back in Dallas, where John McEnroe has gone over to speak with the supervisor Keith Johnson, the men's International Professional Tennis Council supervisor in charge of the match. There he is on the left of your screen.
Everyone else wasn't.
McEnroe down 4-1 in the third set. They split the first 2 sets, so he's very much in the match. Obviously, it's been an odd kind of match. Flashes of brilliant tennis on the part of both players, but we've had 4 service breaks in the first 5 games of this third set.
Mecir serving with new balls. They're a little lighter, go a little faster.
forget, final round coverage of the Masters follows our championship tennis action.
15.
And a double fault. First of the match for Mecir. 15 all.
This week, John has talked about his problems with concentration, and he's certainly having his problems in this match. I thought he concentrated very well in the semifinal match against Stefan Edberg.
Yes.
Everything to the forehand side of McEnroe.
30.
Well, good reflexes from McEnroe here, and he held his position well. You can see him, he just stood covering the down the line shot. He was anticipating it. Let's see if he starts to make any move back to the right at all. Nope, not even a fake. He knew it was going there.
Mecir took that ball early and wrong-footed McEnroe. Trying to keep the pressure on.
First service. Juice.
No, his first service. Now it's a second serve.
Advantage Mecir.
I think one of the big problems that John McEnroe has at the moment is he's playing two matches. He's playing against two people. He's playing the umpire and he's playing Mecir.
Juice.
Going back to the first game of the match, Tony, after that first game of the change of ends, McEnroe challenged the umpire, and same umpire he had the other night against Edberg, and he said, I'm going to be talking to you all day, and you better get ready for it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
He said, there's nothing you can do about it. So that was the challenge. And the problem that John seems to be facing right now is that the umpire has already given him 2 penalty points, or 1 penalty point against him, and a warning prior to that. And he's losing the match with the umpire. I think that's concerning him.
Great point for John.
Losing the match to Mecir as well. 4-1 in the third. McEnroe has not been highly successful breaking through at opportunities like this one. And this time he is. And yet another break in this unusual third set.
Mecir leads 4 games to 2.
5 breaks in 6 games. How often does that happen at the top?
It might happen on clay, but you don't see it happen indoors very often on a faster surface. McEnroe still down a break at 2-4. Just tremendous return of serve. Mecir just stays facing onto the net. Doesn't take a real big backswing. uses the speed on the ball and just hits it cross court for an outright winner. Makes it look pretty easy. Love 15.
He hardly has, on that return, he hardly had any backswing, did he? Let's have a look at his forehand here. Hardly any backswing. He uses the pace of McEnroe's serve to generate his own power.
That's also how he can take it so early.
Not a lot of people are able to do that. That's a talent. That's right. The shorter your backswing, the earlier you're able to take the ball.
Mecir learned to play tennis from his father. His entire family plays the game, and he started at an early age, but he doesn't account for anybody teaching him specifically various strokes in that open stance.
Well, it's love 40 and another loose point by McEnroe. 3 break points. John has fought back twice to get back from 2 breaks down to 1 break, and now it looks like he's going to lose it and get back down 2 breaks in his 3rd set.
Mecir.
Double
Mecir breaks once more and leads 5-2 in the 3rd set over John Mac. Hold of service. It came back in game 2 by Mecir, and he's now serving for the 3rd set.
Talk about using the whole court. We'll take another look. A roll here so John can't make an offensive volley. McEnroe waits to cover the down the line. This time Mecir rolls it cross court. We're back live. 15 love. Back to the action. Nuke, what do you think's happening here with McEnroe? He challenged the umpire early, and he's sort of in a real dilemma right now, don't you think?
Very much so, because he can't afford to challenge the umpire anymore, or a game will be awarded against him. He's had a warning first, and then they took a point away from him, and the next time it happens they'll take a game away from him, and he's getting close to being put out of the match. So I think he feels like he's being suffocated at the moment.
Mecir thought the ball was well out over the baseline. We'll have another look, see if we can tell.
That looked out to me.
Yeah.
I think he's got a good case.
He got to stay in there now because he still has 2 breaks.
McEnroe resting at the other end, an eloquent expression on the face of Mecir, expressing his agony.
Let's play.
The call made by the same baselinesman, Jerry Lipp, who was the recipient of the code violation from John McEnroe earlier. That's wide.
30.
Here's a look at that ball from a low angle.
It's tough to tell in the replay. Whatever, it's 30 all. It's just serving for the 3rd set.
Yeah, that's a good shot from McEnroe.
And
Full
again,
stretch.
Mecir pounding on that forehand of John McEnroe, and Mac pulled it off that time. He's got a break point. Watch the good roll on the forehand cross court, wrist snap. Comes up over the back of the ball, makes it dip quickly. We come back to the action, and it's break point for McEnroe.
Deuce.
Another break point.
That was a pretty good return, and he took it so early.
It was, but you know, I'm beginning to wonder whether Mecir is playing too much to the forehand now and make it stronger and stronger. And no one's going to say McEnroe's forehand is bad.
No, it's not a weakness.
Not at all.
Well, that's unlucky.
Also not really a smart play. He was in such a good position. He didn't have to take that big a swing at it.
Let's see what his options were, Tony. Here he comes now. Where's Mecir? He's sort of in half court. I don't know. Mecir was ready for a drop shot or anything like that. About a 1/10 of an inch higher, and he would have made the shot.
Set point for Miloslav Mecir. Put him up 2-1.
And he got it.
6-2.
So on a strange third set, in which we saw 6 breaks of service,
Please keep the seats.
Mecir has taken a 2-1 lead. John McEnroe will begin the 4th set. Trailing 2-1. Mecir winning the first 6 love. McEnroe rebounding 6-3 in the second. Mecir prevailing 6-2 in the third.
Would have been good in doubles.
Would have been good in doubles? Is that what he said? Well, as far as I know, that wouldn't apply.
I guess I didn't think of it, Tim, before, but some of our viewers may wonder at the strange-looking court with no doubles lines out there.
This being only a singles tournament, they've got the lines set up for singles only. Looking for some kind of affirmation.
One thing you're not going to see is a mark on the court.
McEnroe is down on his knees looking for a mark on behalf of Mecir. This match has had some bizarre moments. He said to Mecir, you must have intimidated the linesman.
Oh, he said, I must have intimidated the linesman, you know, and made the linesman call the ball out.
So he got a salute back from Mecir.
That was all to do with previously in the match, when McEnroe's been arguing, Mecir has sort of hasn't said anything, but he showed that he was a bit upset by all the antics. So McEnroe's saying now, well, maybe I am intimidating the linesman, huh?
Yes!
McEnroe unforced error department on the forehand 31 and on the backhand 12. So Mecir pounding that forehand and getting some good results.
Tim, maybe they've picked up something from the Leonard Hagler fight that you called out there.
Well, John's referred to that as an inspiring performance by Leonard. He watched the fight here in closed circuit in Dallas along with Stefan Edberg, and he said he was very, very impressed, and it gave him a lot of inspiration. He said to listen to yourself, not to other people, about what you can accomplish. John's quite a fight fan. He had a visit from USBA champion Donald Curry in his locker room after the Noah match the other night.
(40-15), first game of the fourth set.
So McEnroe with some strong serving in this opening game of set number 4. Takes a 1-love lead.
First game, full set.
He trails. And Mecir to serve. He leads 2 sets to 1. $200,000 to the winner of this championship match and the WCT trophy. You can see that John McEnroe hasn't come back from a 2-1 deficit since the 1985 Australian in best of 5 matches. Well played.
Some good deception and different swings by McEnroe on that point. He goes under a forehand. Now that one he goes underneath. And now he blocks it into the open court. But prior to that, he had hit a couple of sliced forehands, which you seldom see him do. He likes to roll it, trying to take some pace off and keep the ball down.
Why would he be doing that?
I think he wants to keep it down so Mecir can't drive it as well. Has to hit up. The ground strokes of Mecir, very accurate, very deceptive, as we've said.
Mecir just keeps niggling away at you, doesn't he?
Well, he made a smart play. The defensive lob was very deep, so he didn't overplay the smash, and when John's return was short, he was able to come in behind it.
Always trying to catch you on the wrong foot.
So Mecir holds service in his first effort here in the 4th set, and we're all even at 1.
Tony, I find Mecir really interesting to watch because he plays a thinking man's game. He's hitting a ball with the idea of what's going to happen 3 or 4 shots later.
Yeah, these two guys are, to me, the most fun to watch because they have a variety to their game. A lot of the players out there play it one way only.
They just hit the ball, and that's that shot, and then whatever comes next, whereas...
No, that was his best crack of the entire match. He knocked that 6 feet long, and they had said derisively there was no way that was out. Somewhat self-deprecating humor that time instead of directed elsewhere.
Great shot.
This is the service we're talking about, swinging into the body on the forehand side, but it wasn't quite tight enough. There was plenty of swinging room, and that's what happened. Only winning 40% of the points when his second serve's gone into play. What was he against Edberg the other night, Tony?
82, I think.
At one stage,
yeah,
it was 82.
Way up there. Of course, Edberg doesn't return the ball as well as Mecir does, in all due respect. John really has to battle not to give up his serve here early in this fourth set. Give Mecir that lead and some extra confidence.
Do you agree with Mats Verlander's statement that Mecir could be #1 in a couple of years' time?
He may be. I think he's got a chance to improve his serve some. He's only 22. Sure does the rest of it well.
Perfectly timed return.
If he did become #1, you know how all the coaches around the world start picking up on the #1 player? What type of a game would they start coaching them to do then?
Well, he's fairly orthodox off
Yeah.
the ground.
But it's pretty tough to play like that with not, you know, you have to have... You have to have great feel and touch to be able to play the way he does.
Break point.
Another excellent pass for the break point.
13-14.
Pretty good stat. McEnroe's had 14 break points and has converted 4 of them. Mecir has had 9 and converted 7 of them. So the odds are in Mecir's favor here to get the break.
And the odds must come up now. As we saw a while ago, McEnroe has only been winning 40% of the points when his second serve has gone into play.
Yes.
Fantastic shot.
Miloslav Mecir. Great serve here in the second game of the fourth set.
You'll see agility and power. Great shot down the line. McEnroe thought Mecir would be late. He'd get over there in time to go cross court, and he has a break. So Mecir has a break, leading at 2-1 in the fourth set. He leads.
Mecir leading 2-1. McEnroe physically held up very well against Stefan Edberg through 4 sets the other night of hard-fought tennis. We'll be watching his conditioning here. Has a whole new routine of practice. He and his coach Tony Palafox saying he's increased the amount of tennis he plays each day in practice. He's doing some running 2 or 3 miles a day and a lot of calisthenics and exercises, particularly because of the lower back problem that continues to aggravate him.
The unforced errors to winners. McEnroe at -15, so he's made that many more mistakes.
That's a lot of unforced errors. I wonder how many, though, have actually been forced, because they look easy, but he's actually off balance because of Mecir's direction of shot.
That is Owen Williams, the chief executive officer of WCT. Played against him at Wimbledon back in the 50s. He promoted tennis in South Africa. Does a great job. A fine gentleman. It's Speaking of a fellow doing a great job and a fine gentleman, Mecir playing a heck of a match.
30.
Apparently he got interested in baseball when he went to a minor league game in Indianapolis, and he's been following it on television when he's been playing in the U.S. Of course, there's none played in Czechoslovakia, and evidently he'll be the first man to return with a baseball glove and a baseball bat if he takes it back home.
Oh, good shot from McEnroe there. He just took all the pace off the ball, hit a lot of top spin, high over the net, landed on the baseline.
McEnroe directing the applause, raised it up here for his breakpoint opportunity, and then told him, okay, that's enough.
McEnroe again has had 14 breakpoint opportunities and converted only 4. See if he can do it here to get back on serve in this 4th set.
That's 4 of 15.
It's still Mecir playing the McEnroe forehand. You know, I always felt mechanically it's easier to hit a backhand than a forehand. More of the top players have better backhands than forehands, but he's really taking advantage of John's forehand.
Did Mecir tell you, Tim, what baseball team he follows?
Well, no, I don't think he's really got a favorite, but the bat he picked up on sale apparently was a Don Mattingly bat.
Whoa.
Advantage Mecir.
That one hit the backstop on the fly.
Well, he's trying to take it early and gamble a little bit.
Advantage Mecir.
Big break for McEnroe. Mecir makes a terrific shot. Hits it hard, gets it down low. McEnroe's ball catches the net and falls over. So it's deuce. 2-1 Mecir in the 4th set. He leads 2 sets to 1.
Guessed right, stayed over there. Otherwise, that point would have been over in Mecir's favor.
This was a super point from McEnroe because he beat Mecir at his own game. Started moving him around the court this time. The drop shot anticipated the cross-court backhand, which was pretty good. And instead of going down the line, which was the obvious on the last one, he flicked it back across court.
So McEnroe breaks to 2-all in the 4th set.
That'll be a big boost for McEnroe's confidence, that last point, not only getting the break.
He also got the break with a forehand. I don't think John, if you asked him right now, you're worried about your forehand, I don't think he'd say yes. he's having to hit a lot more forehands than he is backhands. That's the choice that Mecir is making him take. Didn't like the way he hit that forehand volley.
You can see he hasn't had an ace today after 15 against Edberg and 6 in his first round match.
John, dumbbell.
Self-directed dumbbell.
Love 30.
And he's down love 30. That percentage keeps dropping a notch or two with each game.
I've always felt that that's the best swing you ever get at your opponent is off of his second serve, because once they make one volley, the ball's down and you're normally on the run.
Break points for Mecir as the service continues to be a problem in these last 2 sets. 6 breaks out of 8 games in the 3rd set, and we've had 2 already in the first 4 games of this set.
A lot of that's been good returning by both players, though. It's not just that they've necessarily served badly. They both have the ground strokes.
Return from Mecir, breaking at love, and he leads 3 games to 2.
McEnroe ranked 7th in the country, in the world. Miloslav Mecir ranked number 5. Mecir leads 2 sets to 1. Has a break serving at 3-2 in the 4th set.
Love 15.
That's an incredible feat from Mecir that he's had 11 break points and won 9 of the 11. That's pretty good against a server like McEnroe.
How about the last one he made, that two-hander cross court off a good serve? That looked like a terrible shot, a terrible try, but what John was trying to do is roll it and get a good angle. I'm hearing him in my headset. Mecir trying to stretch his lead to 4-2 in the 4th set.
These guys are using all of the tennis court, aren't they?
That's what makes it fun, because they can roll. They have the good touch. They have the good groundies. They serve, moves so well. Well, it's deuce.
They use pace, they use change of pace, they use spin on the ball, all to get angles, deep shots. Very interesting to watch.
Game Mecir.
That's the situation. In case you joined us late, Mecir won the first set 6-love. McEnroe came back to win the second 6-3. Mecir has won the third 6-2, and McEnroe will be serving at 2-4 in the fourth set. Got his work cut out for him now. Time is running out, Nuke.
It really is. He's, you know, if Mecir keeps playing like this, he's in a lot of trouble. Should he be, McEnroe be coming to the net more, would you think? Doing something different? I think he's playing well from the ground. He's moving the ball around. He's hitting the ball well. He's not getting a lot of opportunity, I think, to do exactly what he wants to do out there, though.
I think that's right. Mecir is dictating some of the policy. Great shot. McEnroe at the net 77's converted 39. Mecir only 26, but 16 of those 26. We mentioned that at the top of the show, that McEnroe would be serving and volleying, and Mecir was going to rely on the passing shots. 30-love. Nuke, my guess is that McEnroe is saying, I'm just not serving well enough. I'm not serving as well as I did against Edberg, and with Mecir such a good returner, it's really created problems.
Yeah, McEnroe's like a, you know, look at it like a baseball pitcher. You have to keep changing it up all the time to get on top of the batter, and I don't think at any stage in the match he has really been on top of Mecir with his serve. And McEnroe likes to do that. He does it exceptionally well, changing the direction, the speed of the ball, serving forehand to backhand.
Boy, that can be costly. .40-30.
Fault.
That was called by the umpire, Jerry Armstrong, because the linesperson said unsighted. Couldn't see it because of Mecir. That is the third double fault for McEnroe. He has yet to serve an ace, which is very surprising. Mecir has served 3 aces, the only 3 he's served in this entire event, and only served 1 double.
I think that may have gone in if it hadn't touched the top of the net. It ran along the net.
It looked like it. Looked like it was going to fall over and would have been impossible for Mecir to get to it. And we'll watch it again. And here is the ball that ticks the top of the net. and goes sideways and falls out. And John's saying, man, this is, you know, this is the way it's going all day for me. The match is now 2.5 hours old, and it's deuce.
For Mecir.
This could be the final nail in the coffin. Mecir can get this one.
Mecir can move to 5-2 and be serving for the match. Two previous meetings against John McEnroe. He has come out on the short end, but he is a man on the move in the world of tennis.
He's done it.
And he does. Miloslav Mecir with yet another service break. 5-2 here in the fourth set. He'll serve for the match when we return. Fair to both players. And it is Miloslav Mecir now with a chance to serve out the match. 5-2 in the fourth set.
Tony, assuming that Mecir is going to go on and win this, it'll do a tremendous amount for his confidence and self-belief in himself. Although he's already number 5 in the world, this is another step up to the top of the mountain, beating John McEnroe in a final like this. And, you know, the concentration factor that he's gone through with the arguments with the umpire.
Anytime you win a huge tournament, and this is a huge tournament, and you beat someone the equivalent of a John McEnroe, it has to be great for your confidence.
Not to mention a $200,000 purse that if he wins it will push him over the $1 million mark career. And he's up 30-love. He has wins over Becker at the U.S. Open last year, Lendl at Key Biscayne last month. A victory over John McEnroe would certainly make this guy a serious contender for every major championship that lies ahead. Virtually unknown to the masses of the sports public until the U.S. Open last year. What an impact he's made in that time. You saw Tatum O'Neal and John's father, John McEnroe Sr., in that shot, not looking real happy at the way things are going. 30-15. McEnroe gets another rise from the crowd here, and Mecir just trying to ignore these things.
It's tough for Mecir to keep his concentration. That's all he has to do. He's got 2 breaks.
At point, 2 of them.
McEnroe tried the tough drop volley, just caught the tape. Big moment for Mecir.
Crowd really stirring him on. I wonder how it feels knowing that you're serving for $200,000.
Buy a lot of baseball bats to take back home.
Wow.
He's got it.
Six-two.
Standing ovation for Miloslav Mecir. 6-2 in the fourth set over John McEnroe. An exciting championship match on the part of both players today, but this 22-year-old Czech has proven that he is a force to contend with in all of the majors from here on out. And here is match point as it's long from McEnroe, and a happy Miloslav Mecir of Czechoslovakia as the WCT champion. And
now I think you have a check for $100,000 for runner-up John McEnroe. John, congratulations on a fine tournament. I know you're disappointed in the final, but you're on this trophy 4 times. Maybe next year will be a better one for you.
Well, it's a hell of a runner's-up check, first of all. So, and I have been here 4 times. I figured that Miloslav deserved to win. I figured I'd set him up for the next match. Maybe he'll throw me a bone the next time. But I just would like to say that all the fans out here that came out and supported me this week, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. It's nice to get some crowd support once in a while. And I'd just like to finally say that playing this 10 o'clock match, maybe it was a good idea for me to play and lose this year. By the time they have the finals next year, I'll have 2 children, and I'll probably be getting up at 6 or 7 every day anyway. So I'll be ready for it. So Miloslav, stay single for a few more years. Get up late, and maybe I'll be able to get this back next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Now, Ed, I think you have a winner's check for a great champion, Miloslav Mecir.
Very much. Congratulations.
And also, Ed, we have this beautiful Buick WCT trophy. Miloslav, be careful. It's in 2 pieces, and it's very heavy. And if you'll lift that right up over your head, if you can, and let everybody see what a beautiful thing that is. Miloslav, this has to be a tremendous win for you. What does this do for your career?
Well, I don't know what it's going to do to my career. I am very happy I won today, and I hope it's going to help a little bit my game.
Congratulations, the 1987 WCT champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for supporting this event. And now the road to Dallas 1988 begins.